And good afternoon, everybody. Can you feel it? The chase. It's in the air. It's lingering. Everybody is excited. The drivers, the crew chiefs, the fans, myself. We know that at the end of today's race, race number 20 of the Almond Joy Series, we will find out the 12 drivers that will be battling for the first ever Almond Joy Series chase for the championship. We're getting set for 34 laps of racing, and the scenarios are multiple into this race. We've got drivers that could pick up a win here today and automatically lock themselves up a spot in the chase for the championship. We've got drivers that at this point, there are 13 different race winners that are inside the top 30 in the point stands, and we've only got room for 12 drivers. We could end up having one, even two drivers that have wins and are inside the top 30 in the point stands not even get into the chase for the championship. Right now, these are the drivers we know for sure will be battling in the chase. Three-time winner K Jazzin, two-time winner Jordan Lopez, and then single-time winners Benny Watson, J Qualls, Mitchell Carter, John Andrews, Nick Johnson, and J Kurtis. They are locked in regardless of what happens here today at M&Ms. However, question mark over Matthew Daleo, who comes into this race 27th in the point stands. He's a two-time winner, won the first two races of the season, but he's not 47 or more points ahead of 30th in the standings. If he has a bad run today, he could fall outside the top 30 in the points, and those two wins don't mean anything towards the chase for the championship. And then as far as one-time winners that come into this race, inside the top 30 in points, but they could fall out just as easily. Zachariah Hall, last week's winner, Connor Breton, C Dollerton, and B Allan comes into this race in the 13th seed as a one-time winner in that critical 30th position in points. Right now, though, she's not high enough ahead of Dollerton Breton to be in the top 12 seeds. She right now would be out of the chase for the championship if she can't do something here today. As a matter of fact, the driver she's going to try and beat would be C Dollerton. Those two come into this race separated by 11 points. We'll keep an eye on the 43 and the 0 as the race goes on. But it could mean absolutely nothing, that battle between Dollerton and B Allan. Both of them could miss out on the chase if somebody like the pole sitter Tyler Markel, outside pole sitter C Denton, if they go to victory lane here for the first time this season. Markel comes into this race inside the top 15 stands in 15th. C Denton comes into this race currently situated in, if I can find him, 21st in points. He's ahead. They're both ahead of B Allan and C Dollerton in the standings. A trip to victory lane is an automatic ticket into the chase for the championship. Without further ado, though, we're going to go down trackside. I'll get my notes together as you get the command to fire them up here at M&Ms.
Drivers, start your engines!
So here we go, getting ready to turn them loose. Throw out some other names of drivers that if they go to victory lane, they're automatically in the chase for the championship. P Minnick, Eric Hayden, Nick Guenther, Richard Johnson, Amoris Studemeyer Jr., K Shearer. These are drivers that are all up inside the top 10 in points. They just haven't found victory lane yet this season. Throw some other drivers in there. Cody Smart, Seth Cole, pole sitter Tyler Markel, Grayson Acavito, Julio Cesar, Davey Johnson. All these drivers with a trip to victory lane, they're automatically locked into the chase for the championship. Could it happen here today? We're at a super speedway. They cater to the underdogs. They seem to be those kind of racetracks where those surprise winners, they seem to come from out of the woodwork. Could it take place here today? And if you think this is exciting, you'll want to tune in tomorrow for our Hershey's Cup Series regular season finale, where we're going to be trying to find out what 16 drivers will be battling for that chase for the championship. But we've got to do first things first. We got to find out our 12 competitors for our Almond Joy Series chase, and we are just half a racetrack away from beginning the journey to finding out. Keep in mind, if you have somebody like a Zachariah Hall, like a Connor Breton, C Dollerton, B Allan, if they go to victory lane, they're locked into the chase as well. Pretty much here today, if you win the race, you're locked into the chase, regardless of whether you're already locked in, you've got a win already and you're not locked in, or you don't have a win and you're inside the top 30 in the point standings. The only drivers I can think of that would not necessarily happen for would be someone like Ryan George or Angel Navarro. They're behind C Dollerton in the points. However, they were only 7 and 11 points, respectively, behind Dollerton, so you can't say that they wouldn't necessarily be in the chase with a win, as we're getting ready to turn them loose here today at M&Ms. 34 laps of racing. Green flag is out. The other drivers right now that also not fit into that scenario would include Jeremy Jones, Jesse Turner, Jonathan Zoerlein, Caitlin Sang, Joseph Romero, Jeffrey Finguy, Mike Becker, Cody Hagen, William Brock, and Zach Rogers. They are all outside the top 30 in the point standings. Tyler Markel out in front early on here. Zachariah Hall trying to hang on to second. Jesse Turner trying to take that spot. And I did say Jesse Turner would be out of the hunt. However, Jesse Turner's only, I think, 19? No, it's actually less than that. 17 points back from Chris Dollerton. So if Turner does go to victory lane and Dollerton doesn't finish well, Brooke Allen doesn't finish well, there is still mathematically a possibility that Turner could get himself into the chase. So I can't really say that they are completely out of it. I think the same could be said for Jones. Same could be said for Zoerlein. So, there's so many scenarios coming into this race. The top 30, the wins, it all plays a huge factor into who could make the chase and who couldn't. I've already mentioned drivers that regardless of what happened here today, they will be in the chase for the championship. A couple of them right there in 4th and 5th, J Kurtis and Nick Johnson. They're already locked into the chase regardless of what happens here today. As Markel continues to show the way. Tyler Markel was strong last week, well, 2 weeks ago I should say, in our last Almond Joy Series race at Yas Marina Circuit. Showing that same strength off here today right now. This is one of those super speedway tracks too where a lot of the passing goes into drafting partners, and it's very, very hard in these turns to be able to lock up with somebody, to be able to gain momentum. You see there, Jesse Turner was working with Zachariah Hall, realized they were going nowhere, and now makes the move to the inside. It's like a really fast intermediate track in a way. Mostly it's on the straightaways that this track caters to the super speedway type racing that we're used to. And it's also maybe one of the easiest super speedways on the circuit to be able to control the draft. As we've seen already, we're about to complete the 3rd lap, and nobody's even been able to really get to the back bumper of Tyler Markel. Markel able to control which line's getting the run and which line isn't. Markel coming into this race 15th in the point standings. His finish last time out at Yas Marina Circuit jumped him up 2 spots in the standings. Markel trying to make the chase. If he closes the deal, wins the race, he's locked into the chase for the championship, and that would actually knock not only Brooke Allen but also Chris Dollerton out of the championship hunt. Now for Chris Dollerton, we'll have to also, we mentioned that we'll be keeping an eye on the 11-point difference between Chris Dollerton and Brooke Allen. We'll also have to keep an eye on the difference between last week's winner Connor Breton and Chris Dollerton, because right now those two would be fighting for the 11th seed in the 12-driver chase for the championship, and those two are separated only by 4 points. So if Dollerton is able to get ahead of Breton in the standings, and we do have a different winner go to victory lane here today, Breton would be in the 12th position and drop to 13th. As Benny Watson going to put the first challenge to Tyler Markel. Watson hasn't been to victory lane since Bristol Dirt, and now side by side for the race lead here at M&Ms. Right now we've only got 2 multiple-time winners locked into the chase for the championship. K Jazzin, 3-time winner, and Jordan Lopez, 2-time winner. Matthew Daleo right now running up inside the top 10, so as things stand right now, his 2 wins would put him in good stead to get a chase spot, but coming into this race, he wasn't yet locked in. And Benny Watson trying to head into the chase as the 4th multiple-time winner. J Kurtis has now moved into 2nd, and here comes K Shearer. Mentioned how Markel a win he's in. Well, same can be said for the 14. K Shearer's had a really good season so far, 9th in the point standings, but still trying to find victory lane. K Shearer, I think if I remember correctly, the closest K Shearer was to picking up a win was back at Rockingham, North Carolina. And there we go, 3 wide. Shearer to the bottom, looking for the race lead. I'll look back and see if my memory is as good as I think it isn't. There you go, North Carolina Speedway. K Shearer finished 2nd, less than a 1/10 of a second behind K Jazzin. So there you go, wow. That's pretty good memory right there. And Shearer showing the way right now here at M&Ms. Let's jump back, take a look at those drivers that we were going to be seeing as far as the point situation between Dollerton and Brooke Allen, and then Dollerton and Breton, as this battle continues to rage up here at the front. There's Brooke Allen. Allen's right now 26th, and there is Breton in 30th. Chris Dollerton is back here. Where is he? He's back in 38th. So right now, not only has Dollerton lost ground to Breton, he's also lost ground to Brooke Allen. This time he crosses the line, I believe still in the 38th position. Brooke Allen this time crossed it in 26th. And that means that Brooke Allen right now would be ahead of Chris Dollerton in the points by 1 point. There's Dollerton, N Guenther back here in 39th, and wow, look who's running 40th, K Jazzin. Three-time winner already locked into the chase, and Jazzin way back here. As Tyler Markel has gone back to the race lead, but maybe not for long. Here comes K Shearer back to the bottom. Drag race to the line, the drafting help is on the high side, and by about a full car length, Tyler Markel will lead that lap. Seeing some drivers up here with nothing to lose, just maybe another trip to victory lane. Benny Watson as well as J Kurtis. And I also saw Jordan Lopes is now up here in the top 10. Remember, Lopes, his first win this season came at a super speedway. It was at Talladega. And Shearer, nice run there on the bottom, will take the lead, but maybe not for long. Here comes Benny Watson now to the bottom. Now look at William Brock get moved into the middle there by Jordan Lopes. Lopes would love to be able to be the second driver to head into this Almond Joy Series chase as a three-time winner. Lopes, his second win coming at the short track of Salem. And there's Zachariah Hall, who comes into this race not yet locked into the chase. They're on that inside line. Last time by was scored in the 5th position. I think running somewhere around 6th right now, unofficially. Noticing some other drivers starting to work their way up here to the front. I saw the Lucas Oil Chevrolet Camaro of Ryan George. Let's see what his scenario would be coming to this race. George is 29th in points. He is ahead of Brooke Allen in the standings, and the gap between him and Chris Dollerton coming to this race was 11 points. So right now, Ryan George, if he could go to victory lane, he would more than likely be able to be in the chase for the championship. It's still mathematically possible for one-time winner of the season, Joseph Romero, to get a second win, get himself into the chase. However, it is now mathematically out of range for Jeffrey Finguy, who I saw starting to work his way up here to the front. Even though he's got a win this season, doesn't look like he's going to be in the chase. As William Brock now moves into second, Lopes to third, and then Brock's got a teammate there in J Kurtis. You got to wonder if maybe with where William Brock is in points, I mean, he's 39th, he's not going to be able to lock up a chase spot with where he's situated. You think J Kurtis would be willing to push his teammate to a win, though. K Shearer looking good, though. K Shearer, like I said, runner-up back at Rockingham. A win would put him in the chase. Angel Navarro right there in the 25. Navarro coming into this race 28th in the point standings. The gap between himself and Dollerton, 7 points. So Navarro's got a chance as he's now up to the 3rd position, now trying to push Benny Watson to the lead. And Watson will get it at the line, but look at the run that Navarro got on that inside line. He might try and stick it down there 3 wide going into 1. Can't quite get to the left rear of Watson. Now drives it in the middle of the corner, and he's got drafting help in the form of M Daleo. not quite halfway in this race, and pit stops could play a factor in this as well, as Navarro now will show the way. Here comes the 98 of Mike Becker. Becker in this race coming into this one, he is a good 60 points behind Chris Dollerton. Needed to be 47 or less in order to be mathematically eligible for a win to maybe get him into the top 30 in points. So Becker's not going to be able to get in the chase, but he could go to victory lane. I mean, let's remember last year in the Hershey's Cup Series race here, we were putting all these scenarios together of, well, this guy, if he wins, he's in. If this guy wins, he's in. And it ended up coming down to a non-charter go-or-go-home driver in his very first race, Tripentakio Vernio, who took the checkered flag. So, I mean, you know, you can't say that someone like William Brock, Cody Hagen, Mike Becker, someone that might not necessarily make the chase, that they're not going to go to victory lane in this thing. Let's jump back, take a look, and see what the point scenario now is between Breton, Dollerton, and Allan. None of those three have even made it up here into the front of the field. Brooke Allan right now scored in 24th place. Connor Breton right there in 27th. So for both of them, for Breton, he just needs to be running ahead of Dollerton. For Brooke Allan, she needs Chris Dollerton to be running in 36th or worse. And right now, Dollerton is in 37th. As a matter of fact, he's battling with J Jefferson for that spot, and now Dollerton falls back to 38th. So right now, Brooke Allan would be in the chase, and Dollerton currently would be out. However, Brooke Allan would also be out right now with Navarro showing the way, and we got some pit stops. Pit stops here on lap 15. Watson, Finguy, George, Cody Smart, K Shearer, Hall, Hagen. Breton's in. Julio Cesar, Nick Johnson. So here we go. Davey Johnson's in. Denton, Rains, Caitlin Sang, Dollerton, Jefferson. I believe that's Acavito back there. And N Guenther is in as well. Here comes K Jazzin. So they're all pitting here. That was on lap 16 for those drivers. Right at the halfway point, which says to me they're pitting at the halfway point. They should be good to go the rest of the way on this pit stop. And Navarro's not coming in, but Markel will give up the second position. He's coming to pit road. Here comes J Kurtis. Jesse Turner, William Brock. Whoa! Mitchell Carter having to avoid somebody there. Got the wall a little bit. Hangs on to it, though. Paul Minnick's in. Matthew Daleo, Zoerlein, Brooke Allan, Andrews. There's a Morris Studemeyer Jr. back there. Zach Rogers, Julio Cesar is in. There's Finguy and Watson. They've already been to pit road. There is the race leader, Navarro. Question of when he's going to come to pit road. He's yet to pit, as are Lopez, Jones, Eric Hayden, and I think J Qualls and Seth Cole are the last drivers that are to come down pit road, and they may come down this lap. And Navarro, he's in. Here comes Lopez, Qualls, Jones, Hayden. Seth Cole's in. And I believe that is it of the drivers that haven't pitted that are now coming to pit lane. So we'll keep an eye here on Navarro, who was the race leader when the cycle of pit stops began. We'll have to see if he'll be the leader when the cycle of pit stops finally completely revolt around. Or rotate around. Revolt. That's how you say revolve and rotate in one word, folks. Navarro down and away. So we're going to have to watch for Tyler Markel, who I believe was second when the pit stops began. Markel has not crossed the line yet. As a matter of fact, J Kurtis just crossed the line, so it may be Kurtis who may come around as the leader, and then Markel in second. That's provided they can get around Navarro before Navarro merges back onto the racetrack. Looking on the right side of the screen, and I don't see the pack yet. Still don't see them. Looks like Navarro had a really good pit stop. And looks like Angel Navarro is going to come out, cycle around. Still is the race leader. J Qualls actually led that last lap because his pit stall was down after the start-finish line. Navarro's was before the start-finish line, so Qualls going to get a bonus point there. And there is Kurtis now into view in that second position. And it will be official crossing the line. Angel Navarro came into pit road as the leader, and he cycles around as the race leader. J Kurtis is in second. Third, William Brock. Fourth, Eric Hagen. Fifth, Benny Watson. Sixth, J Finguy. In seventh place would be Tyler Markel. Eighth is Qualls. Ninth is Turner. Lopez is in 10th. Morris Studemeyer Jr. trying to take that spot in 11th. 12th is Romero. 13th is Shearer. Carter in 14th. 15th is Hagen. 16th, Jones. Then it's Seth Cole in 17th. 18th is Ryan George. 19th, Brooke Allen and Connor Breton right there in 20th. Right now, these two in a good situation as things stand, except for the fact that Angel Navarro is leading this race. They need a previous race winner to be up at the front and win this thing for both these drivers to make the chase. Let's see where Chris Dollerton came out in. Dollerton back still in 37th place. There's K Jazzin there in 40th, N Guenther in 39th. Right now, Chris Dollerton letting a chase spot slip away. Dollerton has to be within 11 positions of Brooke Allan. He is 36th. He needs Brooke Allan to be running 25th or worse. And as we saw, Brooke Allan is currently situated in the 19th position. So she's in a really good spot right now. Connor Breton, however, keeping close tabs with Brooke Allan, which he needs to do. Right now, Connor Breton would have the final chase spot because Brooke Allan, who coming into this race is behind Angel Navarro in the point standings, is currently leading this race. Let's jump back to the front of the field. J Kurtis has now caught Angel Navarro. J Kurtis, Benny Watson. Right now, those are Brooke Allan's best friends. She needs them to get around Angel Navarro and prevent him from taking this checkered flag. Chris Dollerton needs Brooke Allan to begin losing positions hand over fist in the final few laps of this race. Plus, he needs same thing Brooke Allan does, either Kurtis or Watson or Finguy, some former winner, to go to victory lane here. As J Kurtis up the middle on the front straightaway will go to the lead, but not for long. Here comes Benny Watson. Now, there's William Brock, there's J Finguy. Now, Brooke Allan, Chris Dollerton, it would also work out in their favor if one of those two went to victory lane, because their win wouldn't count towards a chase spot anyway, since they're far enough down in the standings outside of the top 30 in points. So right now, the top four drivers, Brooke Allan, Chris Dollerton, wouldn't mind seeing them go to victory lane. There's Eric Hagen there in the 18. We haven't really talked much about him. Eric Hagen coming into this race is fourth in the point standings. He's the second highest running driver in the standings that doesn't have a win. P Minnick, the highest running, overall second in the point standings. Eric Hagen trying to get himself that spot. Kind of interesting if you think back to the beginning of the season. That ride was actually scheduled to be driven by Matt Haas, but because Matt Haas got a charter in the Hershey's Cup Series, he had to relinquish that 18 ride. Eric Hagen took over. Hagen got an opportunity with a trip to victory lane to be in this chase, and Matt Haas up in the Hershey's Cup Series, a two-time winner, and he's locked into that chase for the championship heading into tomorrow's regular season finale. J Finguy to the race lead. Finguy just looking for another trip to victory lane now. I don't think he's going to be able to get into the chase regardless of his win. Same there for Joseph Romero, who's just made it 3 wide. It's a Toyota 3-wide sandwich going into 1. But obviously they want to finish off the regular season with 2 wins. As K Shearer's up here. A lot of Toyotas up here. And Romero and Hagen and Finguy and Shearer and Navarro. A lot of Chevrolets though too. Qualls and Kurtis and Brock. Benny Watson and Markel. Matter of fact, I believe it's all Chevys and Toyotas up in this lead pack. When they hit the line, it's going to be 10 laps to go. K Shearer trying to outduel Joseph Romero here to the line, and he will successfully do it. Here comes J Qualls to the inside. And it is all Chevys and Toyotas up here. Another Chevy there in the group that I didn't mention, Jesse Turner. As Qualls will go to the race lead. J Qualls hasn't been to victory lane since I believe it was Atlanta. Qualls coming into this race, though, locked in the chase for the championship. Overall 5th in the point standings. Coming into this race, he was in the 5th seed in the chase for the championship as well. If he wins this race, it would jump him up, I believe, to the 2nd seed when the chase begins. No, it's going to be very interesting, too. As I mentioned, all these drivers came to pit road between laps 16 to 18. If that was as far as they could go, could see some drivers run out of fuel in the closing stages of this race. Especially drivers that have been up front having to kind of cut the wind, create the draft for drivers behind them, as Benny Watson now goes back to the race lead. We're going to jump back as Watson shows the way, being a former winner this season. The scenario still comes down to points between Brooke Allan, Connor Breton, and Chris Dollerton. Brooke Allan has now fought her way up to the 13th position. So Brooke Allan, right place, right time, getting the run that she needs. Connor Breton, same for him, as he's now moved up now, and that's, I think he just took the 15th position away from Amore Stoudemire Jr. So right now, provided we have another former winner go to victory lane here today, Chris Dollerton would fall into the 13th seed and would not make the chase for the championship. He's right now battling for the 35th position with Jonathan Rains. Richard Johnson back here in 38th. Don't know what happened to him. Nick Guenther's been at the rear, and so is K Jazzin, and he's about to actually go a lap down to the race leaders, who are reeling him in. They're only about 5 car lengths behind him. And now they're on the back door here into 3. Gotta wonder if Jazzin's gonna try and play spoiler here. There's no Junior Motorsports teammates up in this lead pack for him to be able to try and help. Furthest one up is in the 15th position. That's Amore Stoudemire Jr., but is in that 2nd pack. Colin Denton's not up here. And neither is Grayson Acavito, as Jeffrey Finguy now battling side by side here with J Qualls, William Brock in the mix, and they may go 4 wide as Eric Hayden trying to get a run there on the inside line. Not going to be able to get up alongside of Qualls, instead up alongside of Brock, but they are 4 wide as J Kurtis puts it way down on the bottom with a big run help of K Shearer. J Qualls out in front. What a past couple of weeks it's been for Joanna Atwood Motorsports. Joshua Osborne going to victory lane in the Hershey Cup Series race at Yas Marina Circuit. J Qualls with a decent run last week at Kentucky. And their program here in the Almond Joy Series working out just as well. You get some technical support from Richard Childress Racing as well, and Qualls trying to pick up his 2nd win of the season as he prepares himself to battle for the Almond Joy Series Championship. At the line this time, it will be 5 laps to go. Finguy, though, with a run to the inside, and he's got a Toyota to help him in K Shearer. Shearer, though, is going to try down to the bottom 3 wide, heading into turn 1. And Shearer, a nice run down the front straightaway. He's going to make it stick. They'll be 3 wide. Look at Navarro. Big run. Almost got there to make it 4 wide into the turn 1 vicinity. Shearer now to the point. Angel Navarro into 2nd. This is not what Brooke Allan wants to see. And now Benny Watson down to the inside, 3 wide. Got a lot of former winners up here, but we got a lot of opportunity for a driver to pick up their 1st win of the season, and as consequence, lock themselves up a spot in the chase. 4 wide for the lead. Romero down to the bottom. Markel now moving there into the 2nd position. They'll have another car to deal with. That is N Guenther. He is up to speed, but he's off the pace just basically because he has no drafting help. Once he merges in with this pack, he'll be up to speed. As Romero now shows the way. Romero going to victory lane earlier on this season at Infineon. Mathematically ineligible for a win to put him up inside the top 30 in points, though. So Romero just trying to drive for another trip to victory lane. And now Romero going to drive to the inside of N Guenther. That'll put the 11 down a lap. James Qualls in second. Jesse Turner in third. William Brock being pushed by teammate J Kurtis. They're in fourth and fifth. Oh, and look at this! In the closing stages, we're going to have pit stops. Romero, Turner, Finguy, Watson. They can't make it. Breton can't make it. This could be huge for Chris Dollerton if Dollerton can finish ahead of Connor Breton. Question is Dollerton going to come in or is Dollerton going to stay out? Cody Smart just pitted. Qualls now goes to the race lead. Where is Dollerton? Did Dollerton pit as well? If Dollerton pit, he did pit. So that could be it for Dollerton's chase hopes. If he had stayed out, he might have had a chance. And now, can Qualls make it the rest of the way? Can Brock make it the rest of the way? Is Qualls coming to pit road? No, he's not, but Brock and Kurtis are. So Qualls stays out. Navarro stays out. Eric Hayden stays out. 2 laps to go. For Qualls, it would be his second win of the season. For Navarro and Hayden, it would be their first, and it would be an automatic golden ticket into the chase for the championship. Hayden 4th in points. Navarro 28th in points. And just think of the run that Navarro had last time out at Yas Marina Circuit. His finish inside the top 5, that put him up into the top 30 in points. He moved up 6 spots in the standings. Are they going to come to pit road this time, or are they going to come to see the white flag? They will stay out and risk it. Why not for Qualls? He's got nothing to lose. Navarro and Hayden, they really got nothing to lose either. Navarro to the inside on James Qualls. This is not what Brooke Allen wants to see. Navarro takes the race lead away from Qualls. Can Qualls battle back down the straightaway here into 3? Qualls trying to get the run. He's got a good run. He's sucking up to the back bumper of Navarro. Will he drive it low? Here comes Qualls. Qualls and Navarro, they'll battle it out here into 3 and 4. Which one's going to make it back to the stripe first? Qualls clears. Will Navarro try the crossover out of 4? He lost a little bit of ground to Qualls. Down the straightaway, James Qualls will pick up his 2nd win of the season. He's going to be number 2 seed in the chase for the championship as he wins here at M&Ms Super Speedway. And that may have just locked Brooke Allen into the chase for the championship as well. There's Dollerton. He's 34th. Where's Allen? Where's Breton? They haven't crossed the line yet. There's Brooke Allen. Oh, man, she can't lose any more spots than she's already lost. I think she just dropped back to about the 22nd position. Caitlin Sang trying to take a spot. Oh, this could be very interesting here if Sang beats Allen to the line. And, oh, I think Sang just did. Allen finished in 21st, but I think she still had enough to get in. I think she still got in by about maybe 2 or 3 points. And Connor Breton in 23rd. I think he's in. Dollerton crossed the line, I believe, in the 34th position. He did. The gap between himself and Brooke Allen, as stated before this race started, was 11 points. Dollerton needed Brooke Allen to then finish 23rd or worse, and Brooke Allen finished in 21st, which means that Brooke Allen is in the chase. Chris Dollerton, by 3 points, will miss out on the chase for the championship. Actually, I think it's 2 points now. But James Qualls will pick up his 2nd win of the season, and that will put him 2nd seed behind K Jazzin when the chase begins. How about that? And because Qualls won, B Allan is in the chase for the championship. So Qualls takes the win. Navarro ends up second. Eric Hayden in third. Seth Cole will get fourth. And Jordan Lopez will finish the day out in the fifth position. He'll be in the number 3 seed for the chase for the championship. And I'm trying to look here to see where Matthew Daleo finished out this race. He finished in 31st. And Daleo coming into this race, oh boy, Daleo may have fallen out of the top 30 in points. Just saying, he was 8 points ahead of B Allan. Allan finished ahead of him. Let's see, Allan finished 21st. Let me do some calculations here. Allan finished in 21st, and Daleo finished in 31st. That's 10 points. B Allan passed him in the standings. Navarro definitely passed him in the standings. He was 4 points behind Daleo. Ryan George. Where was Ryan George? George was 8 points back, and George finished behind him. Oh, no, he did. He finished ahead of him, but he only finished ahead of him by 4 positions. The only other driver I can think of that you would want to keep an eye on would potentially be Jesse Turner, who finished 8th. Turner came into this race 14 points behind Daleo, and I think he passed him. I think Daleo, I would have to go check the point standings and everything. I think Daleo might have just finished out the regular season 30th in the point standings, just enough to make the chase. I think dropping to 31st in points would be Ryan George. So the fact that George did not finish 4 more positions ahead of Matthew Daleo, I believe, just kept Matthew Daleo's chase hopes alive. We'll have to find all that out in just a moment, though, when we end up showing you your official chase standings for the season. But what we do know for certain is that K Jazzin will be in the number 1 seed with 3 wins. James Qualls will be in the number 2 seed with 2 wins. 3rd seed goes to Jordan Lopez with 2 wins. Matthew Daleo, I do believe, will be in the 4th seed, just barely making it in, as Daleo had 2 wins. And then I believe that just about everybody that came into this race locked in, they're in. Watson, Qualls, as I mentioned, well, we already know Qualls. Watson, Carter, Johnson, Nick Johnson, that is, John Andrews, DJ Kurtis, they're in. I believe Zachariah Hall, he's got enough that he'll be able to be in. Connor Breton, I believe, has gotten in. And B Allan, who was on the outside coming into this race, now is in as well in that 12th seed. Chris Dollerton, who was in coming into this race, is out. He would be 13th overall for the chase standings and would not make the 12-driver chase for the championship. I can't say all this officially, though, because we have to find out what the official point standings look like. I'm just calculating all this off the top of my head, and a lot of times I'm wrong. So, thank you all for tuning into this race. Up next, we will show you the point standings overall for this regular season, and then we will show you the 12 drivers that will be battling for the championship in 10 races in the first season of the Almond Joy Series. Think this was great? Tune in tomorrow. We're going to find out what 16 drivers will be battling in the Hershey's Cup Series chase for the championship in our regular season finale here at M&M Super Speedway. You won't want to miss it. Until then, I'm Seth Cole signing off. Here come your official overall point standings and chase points heading into our first chase race of the Almond Joy Series, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.